Hi there, this is your friend Anna, and the question that I've been getting the most from all of my friends is, what are we wearing? This age-old question isn't just about choosing an outfit, it's about choosing how we present ourselves to the world. I created the I Want Her Shoes podcast to dive deep into what it means to dress with intention, whether you're heading to a council meeting or just having a casual day out with your family. Join the conversation as we explore the power of personal style and the decisions that shape our public personas. Put on your favorite pair of shoes and step into my closet. Welcome back to I Want Her Shoes podcast, where powerhouse women share the real stories behind the highlight reel. I'm your host, Anna Anisin, and today's guest is living proof that you can walk through hell and come out in heels, like these fabulous ones right there. Meet Adriana Cowdin, executive author, entrepreneur, and fierce advocate for chronic illness warriors. And she's a woman behind the unapologetic memoir, Stuborn as Fuck, which I could not put down. And it's really a raw and empowering book about resilience, loss, love, reinvention, and what it really takes to rebuild your life from the ground up, and not just once, but over and over again, which is so powerful. And your story is not your typical rise and shine narrative. It's about surviving more than one life-threatening illness, walking away from toxic relationships, and reclaiming your voice, really, and despite the pain, but because of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And your book is funny and it's fearless, like you. And today we're diving into the unfiltered truths that helped you heal and also thrive, and be here with us today. And I'm really honored to meet you and, have you here, Adriana. And congratulations on the book.
Thank you.
It's, as I said, it was an emotional read, but it's definitely a must read. And I can't wait to see it on Netflix. So.
Well, if Netflix is listening, reach out.
And before we dive in, tell me about yourself and what brought you to this beautiful city.
So I would love to say that it was like the sunshine and the beaches, but what brought us to Miami was actually my health. So as things got progressively worse, the summer of 24, my healthcare team in Indianapolis reversed back to 2016. They had moved my healthcare to the University of Chicago due to the severity. And the summer of 24, they were like, you've got to go somewhere that you have a multifunctional specialty group within like 15 minutes that can handle your acute situation. Right. And so having served on the National Pancreas Foundation board for a long time, and pancreas disease being my core issue, I was like, okay, that's Miami or New York.
Right.
Well, we have sunshine. We have
of course,
all the ocean.
I feel like there's no stress. Like I feel like New York, you just have like that tension, and here you don't need any tension. You need like chill. Yeah, you need like the chillest vibes possible. Yes. So no, I'm really glad that you landed here and that I met you. And I had no idea that you're writing a book when I met you, and when you told me, I was super excited. And I know that you just released it, so let's dive in a little bit about the book and the story.
Yeah.
And it's really the theme of this book is resilience. And you don't need to be unbreakable. You just need to be willing to stay broken. And that's from page 24, chapter 3. And tell me about the moment you realized strength wasn't really about holding it all together, but it was being unwilling to stay broken and embracing resilience. Actually, like, what does that look like in real life for those people that haven't read your book yet?
Yeah. So I think when it comes to like holding it all together, I kind of call women in the book the lipstick mafia. Like, we're really good at throwing on our lipstick, putting the face on for the camera, the Zoom meeting, the boardroom, whatever it is, right? But at some point, we do break down. And so you have to accept the fact that putting it all together means all parts of you. Your emotional, physical, mental health. And so sometimes you have to make the call that's like, I just can't do it today. Or, hey, I'm going to be off camera because
I do that all the time. Yeah, I'm tired. I just got back from a long trip. I'm not going to do camera.
Right. Yeah. I'm just going to be off camera today.
Yeah.
Even if it's something as small as that, it's meaningful to you and yourself. And that's part of, how you connect that being unwilling to stay broken and really transform yourself.
Right. No, that's really beautiful, and that's a great answer, and yeah, that's a great chapter in the book too. That was awesome. And you also write that you stopped chasing potential, mine or theirs, and that's a theme that we hear a lot on this podcast. And I would love to hear. This was in chapter 5, but I would, you write about the freedom that comes from letting go of expectations of people or potential. What was the first thing or person you had to stop chasing to start feeling like yourself again?
So it's a sore subject, but it's my mom. I was kind of one of those, like, I was never good enough, pretty enough, thin enough, perfect enough, whatever. Put in the verb, right? I was never enough of whatever that was in my mind. That's how I felt. And so for me to figure out how to let go of those expectations was essential so that I could become the best version of myself without worrying about what her expectations were of me. And so that translated to, how do I let go of the expectations in business, right? Like, getting to this corner suite, like, okay, I got there. What does that mean now? Or like, building a business and selling it. Okay, I did that. What does that mean now?
Yep.
And breaking down what all of those different components are, that once you reach those expectations or that potential, you're always having to redefine that.
Yeah.
So that's why it's your expectations that are the most important. Like, what am I doing for me that makes me feel fulfilled?
Yeah, no, and that is a great answer. And I have this similar story with my parents as well. And I feel like what the mistake that people make when they're younger is, if somebody tells you, like, oh, you're like, you could be a good dancer or an artist, or like, don't listen to those people because it's you, like, they don't know anything really about you, right? Like, and then you're putting that into your mind, and then you're trying to go for something that, like, maybe you were not even interested in.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So I feel like it kind of goes back to what you said, right? And like, just not listening and like just cutting those. Yeah,
you have to cut those ties. I mean, I was very much, my mom was shaping me to be a doctor from the time I was like 5. Like, she would get me medical journals and like the New England Journal of Medicine for like my birthday gifts. Like, everything was about me being a doctor. And when I was like, no, I want to be in business.
Man.
Like, I want to be in marketing. And like, I used to draw dresses and do fashion, and she'd be like, nope, you need to be playing golf for business, and you need to be a doctor. And I remember my freshman year of college when I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this pre-med thing. I mean, she was like, you'll be nothing, Like,
yeah, I mean, my parents were the same way. I did some medical stuff too, because that was kind of, my grandfather was a doctor, and like, it's either you're a doctor or lawyer or what, those are pretty much the only things.
Yeah.
Like,
those are your options.
Yeah, so I totally relate with you, and it's really nice to see that people, you can break away from that, right, and be your own person, which is really powerful
and wildly successful.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You don't need to fall into one of those two categories to be wildly successful.
There's like thousands of other categories, especially with AI. You could be or create anything.
Oh my gosh, so many things.
So, no, that's amazing. And if you ever have to choose between proving your worth to people who will never see it and protecting your health and peace, choose yourself every time. And you said that in chapter 1, which I remember reading that, and I think that is such a powerful line, choosing yourself. Can you take us back when you made it? Is it just about your mom, or were there other things too in your life that you were like, nope, we're not doing that any longer?
Yeah, it's interesting. When I stopped playing the game with corporate America, which is a story later on in the book that I share, I had been in the hospital for weeks and weeks and weeks, and got this deadline that was like, you either have to be back by December 28th or your job is gone. And like, put aside all the illegalities around that, but I was like fighting with every doctor. I was like, I have to be discharged the 27th. I have to be at the office on the 28th. And so I walk in on the 28th, feeding tube attached. I'm on like a fentanyl patch, Dilaudid. I was so sick. Eric drove me, not a soul in the office.
Yeah,
like,
I remember that part of the book. That's
dark,
crazy.
Like,
I felt so, that's
office
insane.
was empty.
Yeah,
and
that's just not cool.
That's when I was like, I am tired of showing up for some suit, I don't care what gender you are, that says that you being in this office is more important than you as a human.
Yeah, that's not.
And I was
right.
like, I'm done with this now.
Yeah, good. No, that's amazing. And congratulations. And I think, hey, you might not be here if you didn't say that to yourself.
Oh, for
right?
sure. Yeah.
So.
And I went on to build a great agency and sell it.
Yeah.
So like it turned out to be the
yes.
right choice overall. But it is hard in those moments.
Yeah. No, it's always hard when you have to make such big life decisions,
yes.
and some people never do it. But if you can, then you really can move forward, right?
Well, I think the more successful you are, the harder it is, right? I mean, I'm walking, in my case, I was walking away from a beautiful luxury home, the luxury cars, the cushy bank account and salary and bonuses, and just kind of, for lack of a better term, being like, none of this is worth what
your health. Yeah, exactly.
what I need to do for me.
Yeah. No, and that's wonderful. Congratulations, and look where you are now.
Right. See?
And in a line that had me laughing and nodding at the same time, he wrote, "We weren't even brewed in the same pot." Think French press versus burnout office drip.
Yeah.
And that was in chapter 6. When did your gut first tell you wrong pot, wrong brew, and how did trusting that instinct change your path?
So that was, I had done a number of interviews. In my past, I was an executive at a big retailer. And so I was interviewing with another big retailer. And this was, I think, interview 19. And it was at the same time as the house hunting trip. So it was kind of like the check the mark interview. But it was the CEO. It was the first time I had the time to actually sit down with the CEO who was going to be my boss. And that's when I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, part of me was like, I don't know if this guy's ever traveled outside of Memphis, but he is not like so many things from like, just so you know, everyone has to wear pantyhose every day here.
What?
We don't have maternity clothing. So on Fridays when we wear shop-based uniforms, if you get pregnant, which none of this is okay to talk about, but like if you get pregnant, you just order a men's large shirt. And I was like, what?
Whoa.
Is this 1950? What in the hell is happening?
It sounds like it was.
Yeah. And that's when I was like, I don't care what they offer, what the opportunity is. The answer
Good for you.
has to be no. And in terms of how it changed the trajectory, I ended up taking the opportunity in Indianapolis. I was offered both of them within like 2 days. And I met Eric, who is the love of my life, my best friend, and my most favorite human on the planet, not 4 or 5 weeks after moving to Indianapolis.
So see?
Absolutely.
Everything just
yeah.
The universe bent for you.
Yeah. And it was the opposite of how I used to make decisions. Like I would have naturally taken the bigger company, the bigger title, the bigger paycheck, all of those things. And instead I was like, no.
Yeah. Good. No, I think that's great. And there's also a moment in the book where you say you don't bounce back, you bounce forward, wise and more aligned. And I've heard other people say that bouncing back is kind of not a good way to say that, right? So let's dive in a little bit about that. So many, and what does bouncing forward look like in your life now? And how can other women start doing the same?
So it's interesting. Bouncing back to me is like, not in a negative, but kind of bouncing back to where you were, right? And in my life, I always look at how can I go forward? How can I step forward? So in a very real world example of today, I finished a meeting at 12:45 over on the other side of town, got sick on the way home, got home, changed into some casual clothes, took all the medications I could, anti-nausea, anti-seizure, pain medications, loaded myself up, and was like, I am going to rest my eyes for 15 minutes, and then I am going to change and head over for this podcast. And to me, that's how you bounce forward. It's not pretending that everything is okay, but it's saying, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to keep moving forward and be resilient in this moment. But if someone were to be like, oh, you just bounced back, I'd be like, no, I'd be in bed if I were just like bouncing back. But it's just how you adapt to the situation.
Yeah. And is there something you tell yourself when you do that? Is there because Mel Robbins has the 5-second rule, right? Do you have something like that helps you do that? Because I feel like sometimes it's just people or it's hard, right?
It's very hard.
Convince yourself to move forward.
There are always two things I do. The first one is I text or call Eric and I'm like, I need my 5-second pep talk. Like, you got to get through this, right? And the second is I always remind myself there's a reason the book is titled Stubborn as Fuck. I am stubborn as fuck. If anyone can do this, I can fucking do it.
Hell yes. No, yes. And you did it.
Yeah,
so,
right,
yes.
Exactly, yeah.
And you say that you don't need to be whole to be cherished. You don't need to be healthy to be held. And that's on page 30. And you talk about love. And again, you keep on going back to your wonderful partner. And how did you learn to receive love even when you didn't feel whole? And that really changed how you saw yourself, I know, from the book. So maybe you could talk a little bit about that, because I feel like some people never find that kind of love in their life.
I agree. And I will tell you, until I had it with Eric, I didn't even know that this kind of love existed. I had the beautiful experience of a little Shih Tzu named Henry Winston rescuing me in like 2010, 2011. And I tell Eric to this day that he should thank him for me learning how to love, because he gave me everything I probably really needed and craved as a child. Like just that unabashed joy. Like I would come in the house and be like, Mommy's home, you know, and just so happy to love on me and give me all of the love, no matter if I was cranky or not feeling well or overworked or whatever. He just loved me the same. And so he taught me the lesson of accepting love and being okay. And then poor Eric just having to put that man through hell. Like, because of some of the harder relationships I share in the book, I must have asked Eric every question, like, have you ever been bankrupt? Have you ever been convicted of a crime? Have you?
Well, that's part of something everybody asks these days, right?
Yeah.
I mean, especially if we're dating older.
Right.
That's normal.
And I was like, because I was scared to get hurt. I was scared to put that love out there and get rejected. And I think to some of what we've talked about, some of that comes from your childhood. But in my case, also, some of that came from my first few adult grown relationships.
Right.
They reinforce that. In my mind, I think, of course they did. I attracted what I knew. So it's learning to trust yourself and allow yourself to be loved.
Right. No, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And now let's jump into style. And how did that shift during the most difficult chapters of your health journey? Because you have some wonderful photos in the book, and you're always wearing the most fabulous shoes and everything. So let's dive into that.
So it's funny. I remember when I turned 40, so I'll be 50 next year. And I noticed I started wearing flats, and I was like, oh, this is not happening. Like, I don't know what has gone on, but I need to get out of this realm. And I came out, my brother jokes that I came out saying Gucci, Gucci, goo, instead of like, because I was always in heels, and the taller, the better. So for me, the style didn't just change like physically, but metaphorically. So
Right.
I look at everything as I want people to see me and not see like the diseases, the conditions, the medical stuff, right? So I have this feeding tube, right? But I buy this really cute backpack, and I have Eric modify it so I can just sling it over my shoulder, and I tuck this in. You know, if you just use kind of the typical backpack they send you, it's very obvious you're carrying a feeding tube around, right? I don't want people to see that. I want them to see me. But the same thing goes for, I still put a ton of effort when Eric and I go out on a date night. Like, I put on my high heels and my beautiful dresses and my clothes, and I find a way to make fashion work however I need it to.
I love that.
So like this tube here comes out the side, right? So I found this really cute strapless black, we're in Miami, one-piece swimsuit, right? That had two little holes on the side, so I could have it come out the side. Amazing. And wear like a white linen shirt over it and still look very fashionable at the pool, and nobody know the difference.
That's amazing. So
plus, I always say a shower and makeup are helpful.
Of course. I feel like it's a fact that people that wear makeup they make more money.
Yeah.
The ones that dress up. So ladies, it takes, and it also boosts your Confidence
Yeah.
and your mood.
I feel like when you look good, you feel good, and then yes, your confidence comes
Especially
across.
like with your story, you could say like, yes, that is why I put my red lipstick on, right?
It is. Yep.
And it sounds like you did use fashion as a armor and self-expression.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, beautiful, and we should all do that. And let's talk about some statement pieces.
Yes.
What is one item that makes you feel stubborn as fuck? That's something that you love to wear to feel unstoppable.
For sure, my Chanel Ever Red lipstick. Like, I think
Is that it right now?
Yes,
it's beautiful. It's like it's your color, like 1000%.
Probably have 5 or 6 of them, like one in every handbag. And I have a collection. I just like Chanel lipsticks. I have literally like a bag of Chanel lipsticks, and there's probably every version of red in there, but the Ever Red just seems to be like my signature red. And ironically, I was having a meeting with my therapist I work with, who I've worked with for 20 years, and I was having a session with her maybe a month and a half ago, recently out of the hospital, and she's like, did you do something different? Did you like cut your hair? Did you color your hair? And I was like, no. And I literally was like just out of the hospital. I looked terrible. And she's like, you don't have your red lipstick on. She's like,
that's it.
Yeah, people are so used to me with the red lipstick that she was like, oh my God, I think that's the first time in like 20 years I've seen you without your red lipstick. So that's for sure my power fashion piece.
I love it. No, it could be anything. And you lived through hospital stays, feeding tubes, and more diagnoses than one person should have to endure. And what do you wish more people understood about living with chronic illness? Because people don't see, as you said, people don't see that. Yeah. So, like, and I'm sure, as we talked about in the beginning, a lot of people don't speak up about it either.
Yeah. I think if I had to boil it down to 2 things, it would be 1, reserve judgment on whoever you're looking at. So, for example, like now I can't drive because I have a seizure disorder, but when I could, my options were drive and park in the handicap spot, which of course I have a valid placard for, and be able to slowly go through the store, do my shopping, and go home. Or not park in a handicap and not make it through the store and go home, right? So if I wanted to feel independent, I needed to do that. But look at me, and I get out of the car with a handicap sticker, and I get the nastiest comments, the nastiest looks. So reserve judgment, because you don't know what's going on with people. And the same goes for, like people that are caregivers. I have a stepdaughter who's high functioning autistic. You see kids having a meltdown, it doesn't mean they're a bad parent. That child may have special needs and be going through something. So whatever the situation is, try to reserve your judgment and put yourself in their shoes. And the second is, it's going to sound ridiculous, but you can't catch pancreatitis. You can't catch lupus from me. Like, don't stop being my friend because you don't know how to deal with someone who has illness. And I've lost so many friends because
those were not true friends
right,
anyways.
That's right. They don't know how to relate to you when you're sick, or they get upset when you cancel at the last minute because you have a seizure or whatever the case may be. They take it very much about them.
Yeah.
Whereas
exactly.
It's about the other person. And, unless you are so very uncomfortable, find a way to support them in a way that works for both of you.
Yeah, no, and that's great. Thank you so much. And yeah, I think that is very great information. And I know you mentioned a stepdaughter, so let's talk a little bit about marriage, motherhood, and dating after divorce, all while running a business and battling all the things with your health.
Yeah.
How do you stay rooted in your identity through all those different shifts? Because it's, so many different hats that you're wearing. And shoes.
Yeah, that's in shoes. So one of the things is I literally am just stubborn as fuck. Like, I am completely stubborn. I am resilient. And once I make my mind up, I just go for it. I'm not very easy to tell no to. Which, good, bad, or indifferent. It just is what it is. But I also surround myself with a community that supports what I'm doing in life. So back in, I think it was 2012, I hired what I called was a wife, because I was a C-suite executive at a $40 billion company. I didn't have someone at home to go grocery shopping, do the dry cleaning, be there for the cable person. So I hired someone to do that full time. And
Smart.
I have had someone consistently this whole time. Now,
You have a
over
nanny
time,
almost.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's like a Adriana nanny.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think there should be that for
Yeah.
business women.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a niche.
Yes, you need someone to manage those things that, quite frankly, when you back up 50 years, men were at work and women were doing all of this in the house.
Much,
well, now we're both high-powered executives. Someone's got to do it, and just because I'm the woman doesn't mean I'm the one doing it.
No, absolutely not.
When I met Eric, I told him I make 3 things really well: decisions, money, and reservations.
Oh my God, I love that.
Are the 3 things I make well.
There you go.
And so everything else needs to be outsourced.
No, I love that. That's amazing. And so many women feel stuck between survival and self-expression. And, what helped you rediscover creativity and joy after so much trauma?
For me, it was trying to grasp any sense of self. So, like, weeks and weeks in a hospital, anyone who spent even a short amount of time in the hospital, like, crispy blankets, everything smells like disinfectant or alcohol swabs. Like, it's gross. So I had a beautiful handmade quilt we would bring in, and I had a diffuser that had all of these essential oils. And we really made my hospital rooms feel like a cozy suite for us. And that is not only where we fell in love, literally, but where we've built our relationship. And the beautiful thing is it's got a double advantage, because the doctors and nurses are like, oh, it's so nice in here. So
chill there too, yes.
The nurses come in more, the doctors visit a little longer.
I love that.
But, you really have to make, whatever the circumstances, you have to make it your own so you feel like you're in your own skin.
Yeah. No, that's a great answer. And I'm sure these beautiful shoes as well made you feel better and keep going. Them. So let's talk about the story behind these. And these are, for those of you who are not watching on YouTube, these are Louboutins, and they're like really like the highest one. I don't know. Oh yeah, I have
with the platform. Yeah, the highest with the platform.
Yeah, like this.
Yes.
Oh no, like
higher. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's even higher than mine. Yeah, I don't even have anything this high, but you're a little one.
I'm 5'2".
Yeah. So, but these are beautiful, and they just look like they're barely worn. So tell the story behind these.
So not surprisingly, I was more concerned about what shoes I was going to wear when we got married than my dress or like my hair, anything. And I randomly spotted these. And Eric is now known for this. If I spot something, I can mention something and be like, oh my gosh, those are the cutest silver sandals. And he takes like mental notes, and all of a sudden a year later, I'll get those as a gift, right? Well, I was walking through, very good man. Yes. I was walking through somewhere and was like, I want shoes that look like that. And so I started searching online, and I found these. They were sold out everywhere. And we got married, I want to say 12 or 14 months after we got engaged. And he called Louboutin in Italy and was like, these are the shoes I need. This is the size I need. And he actually ordered 3 sizes, because as you know, some of them fit a little bit differently. Yeah. So he ordered 37, 37 and a half, and 38, all 3 pairs, had them shipped, and then gave me all 3 pairs and was like, whichever one fits, you keep, and we'll send the other 2 back. And I was like, how did you even remember these, much less find them?
So cool.
And he's like, no, I knew that if that was what you wanted, that's what you were going to get married. That's what you were going to have.
I love that story.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
sharing. Yeah. So they're definitely one of my top 2 favorites. If not, they're for sure my favorite. I have a second favorite, but they're the top.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for bringing them and sharing the story. And now let's jump into this quick round of this or that. Late night journaling or early morning walk?
Early morning walk, hands down.
Hospital gown glam or sweats and sass?
I think because of how much I spend in the hospital gown glam, but I have custom made hospital gowns. I don't wear those gowns. Of
course. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised at all.
I have a whole hospital decor.
Speaking truth or keeping peace?
Speaking truth.
Of course.
Yeah.
Rage cleaning or rage writing?
Rage cleaning.
Me too.
Yeah, yeah. I was looking for something today, and I'm
Literally,
like, where did I put it?
Wiping everything. Like,
rage cleaning.
yes. Dog cuddles or solo dance party?
Combined. So we now have a cat, but when I had Henry, I would put on EDM, and Henry and I would dance.
I love that.
Dance
I used to
party
do that with
the
my dog
cuddles.
too. Yeah. Guts or grace or both?
Both for sure.
Yes. Texas toughness or Midwest nice?
I'm gonna have to go with Texas toughness.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Chronic illness warrior or rebel with a cause?
Rebel with a cause.
Of course. Scar stories or glow up goals?
Glow up goals.
Yes. Heart open or walls up?
Heart open.
Always. Rest is productive or rise and grind?
Rise and grind. If it wasn't rise and grind, I'd be at home sleeping.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, rest is productive. I don't want to underplay that, but for sure, rise and grind.
Adriana, thank you so much for showing us that healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who we were before life tried to break us. Your words are funny, fierce, and full of fire, but they're also tender. And stubborn as fuck reminds us that we can be soft and strong, grieving and growing, sick and still, wildly powerful. To our listeners, if you ever felt silent, small, or like your story was too much, let this episode be your permission slip to be too much anyway, to fight harder, to take up space, to believe in your own damn self again, like you, because the most stubborn thing you could do is rise.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. This has been amazing, and I just hope for anyone listening, like if this helped you, please share the episode, subscribe. All of the episodes are amazing. And if you're not watching on YouTube, you definitely have to watch on YouTube.
Yes.
Because you've got to see the environment we're in.
Yeah, and this is the book again for you guys. And you could get it on Amazon, right?
Yep.
It's available on Amazon.
Yeah.
And you are on Instagram, right?
Instagram,
LinkedIn, and
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So check out the book, and it's an amazing story. And then what I'm going to ask for you to do next is pick out a pair of shoes out of my closet that represent you the best and that you would wear, and then we'll take a little Polaroid of you then.
Okay, for sure.
And I love the shirt. Did you make that custom with like the?
So,
oh my god, that is so.
There is
I
a
love
whole
it.
Stubborn as Fuck merch line that you can find on the website.
Okay, so we should definitely So
if you
all like this, we're gonna take a picture. Yeah.
Yes.
I think people are gonna want that because there's
so
a lot of
fun.
stubborn as fuck us out there. You know,
I have like, everything from like coffee mugs to journals to clothing, all the things. Okay, so I am picking the pair in spirit of my sister and best friend, and that is this pair.
All right, well, let's...
Because everyone loves hot pink, at least I do.
Okay, so take the pair, and I'm going to take a picture with you, two pictures, one for me and one for you. And then what we're going to do next is I'm going to put some nice shoes on, and then we will take a picture together.
Awesome.